Hello everybody, how is it going today? I am back. Do you guys miss me? I know you guys miss me because I missed you so much as well. I want to keep producing a lot of content for you guys because I want you guys to kill it in the market this year. And it's now March the 14th. It's about 10:30 Central Standard Time in the morning. And guys, I'm making a lot of content. If you guys have noticed, I spend a lot of my time recording videos for you guys throughout the day, right? 5 hours. But know that it's also for me as well, right? I've got to do my tactical analysis, so why not share it with the public as well? I think it's a community where we should be growing it together. We should be sharing information. Despite how competitive this market is supposed to be in terms of 1 second here, I'm just opening up Windows here. Despite how competitive this market is supposed to be in terms of being competitive with each other, right? The money that we take is literally from someone else's pocket. And the money that we make is from someone else. The money that we lose goes towards someone else as well. So we've always got to keep this in mind, okay guys? So you guys got to make sure that we're trying to be better than the other player. But of course, it should also be a thriving community where we try to support each other and be encouraging and share information as well. So this is why I'm producing a lot of content. It's because I've got to do these TAs myself once again, and I want to share it with you guys. I've been following Litecoin very much so for the past few, I guess, how long have I been following it for now? I've been following Litecoin for about 1 week now, and everything has pretty much come to fruition in terms of figuring out what has been going on and hitting targets, etc., right? So Litecoin is one of those coins that I firmly believe that we're going to hit some ridiculous highs this year. And when we do hit some ridiculous highs these years, you're either going to be a part of it, or you're going to be one of those people that are going to stand by and be like, oh my goodness, did Litecoin just hit like $1,000 or something? Because that's pretty much what's gonna happen, guys. Like Litecoin is gonna hit like over a G this year. I made a G this year, but I made it in the sleazy way. You guys remember Tupac? I made a G today, but I made it in a sleazy way. So let's talk about Litecoin. No surprise, it's almost shy, always under $10 billion market cap here. Number 5 for a while. Hard distance away from number 4, and also very far from number 6 as well. It's going to be number 5 for a while there. Big shout out to Charlie Lee. That man is the man. If there is one person I'd want to spend a night with in a hot tub just to, you know, talk about random things, Charlie Lee would definitely be one of those guys. I think he's extremely interesting, and he's such a brilliant man. My goodness. So every time we start a technical analysis, always start off by heading to CoinMarketCap, okay? Go to CoinMarketCap for the day and just see the 24-hour volume especially. What we're seeing is since the 9th, guys, let's check it out on the 9th, okay? This is the 9th right here, right there. That's where we start to see a lot of volume, right? A lot of volume being pumped into the market, but over the days, the volume has been steadily declining. What we see is $943 million for 24-hour volume. We see it slowly decline. 625, 629, 625, 669, 657, 468. So the volume is still very low. Today the 24-hour volume is only $410 million. So you got to be left to wonder, where is it, guys? Where is the general public? Why are they not rushing to buy in right now into these positions when it's a fairly good price right now? Not only that, we're at about 4.14% down already. Sorry, I'm just having a sip of my water here. We see the coin market cap, the market cap of all cryptocurrencies right now. We downtrended from $373 billion to about $353 billion. So because of this downtrend and people dumping their coins, well, of course, the market cap is going to slowly reduce over the days and hours. So we are dying in volume, guys. Absolutely, we're dying in volume right now. So let's figure out what's going on together. I'm going to do a very brief summary, as I've always done at the beginning of every video. I'm not going to make this one too detailed. I'll save a detailed one for sometime down the road. So we see wave 1 right here. We see wave 2 right there, 3, 4, and 5 going up like that. We see our simple ABC coming down. And you know what? If you guys need to understand why this is called ABC, all right? We've been talking about this for a very long time now in terms of how we were able to derive this specific target, and we were able to derive it by going to 0.618 Fibonacci level here, where we reach into this golden pocket zone, right there. So it's a very confluent zone is what we would call it. We try to look for things that are confluent in the market. When we find these confluent zones, it gives us a really good idea of when to possibly buy. Then you take a look right here. From A, B, C, we hit a direct one-to-one extension, right? Pretty good extension right there from A to B. And then we also, actually I should probably leave that up for you guys. We take our waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down. Like that. Oops, sorry. We take our 1, 2, we can say this is 3, 4, and 5 coming down. We take our Fibonacci extension from just waves 1 and 2. And what we see is, roughly a 168 extension right here. So we're seeing a 100 extension that just barely grazed it. Right there, we see the 168.1 extension in here. We see the one-to-one extension from AB, and we also see the golden pocket. So that was really easy to count. But one thing we have to make note of is this might not be the actual count for C. This might be the count right here, okay guys? Something like this in here. Something like that perhaps, just to give you guys an example. So this could have been the A, B, C, D, E structure going upwards. A, B, C, D, and E, and then it starts to downtrend, right? And because that one made the A, B, C, D, and E, this one could be very well the A, B, C going upwards like that. So this could possibly be not the finishing of the wave here for waves 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, this could not be completed yet, maybe. This is just an alternate count. And we have to make sure that we acknowledge and respect these alternate counts, because sometimes one count could be more appropriately considered than the other count, while other times, right, other counts might be better. So you just never know exactly where we could land up. So we were able to easily derive this possible target right here as well. We were taking our extensions right down over here, right? We were able to buy in this golden pocket that I suggested for people to take a look at. It actually hit these targets twice, guys, which is a very good thing. So now what we're seeing is pretty much support ranges right around here. If you guys take a look at this zone where we're in right now, okay, what we're seeing is really strong resistance, and then we go down over here as well. We see support, and we're starting to see some sort of support as well. Because there was high price action and activity in these specific regions, what we would consider them is as pretty decent support zones right now. So what we're looking for is, excuse me, we're trying to see if the 78.6 Fibonacci number right here is going to be any relevant. So the 24-hour volume is not that high right now, but it's actually looking like it's going to be higher than probably yesterday, in my opinion, or at least this 4-hour candle is, right? What we're seeing on the 4-hour candle right here already is that it's looking pretty decent. Take a look. It's looking like a not a Fibonacci, like a double tweezer type bottom, and this one could be considered an inverted hammer. And an inverted hammer is basically a hammer but flipped upside down on the downside. These might signal a very small rally in the market. We've got about 10 minutes left to go in this candle. It might seem like a fairly decent support, but regardless of where we downtrend, I believe that the hard support region right now is still going to be this right here. Okay, that is going to be a hard support right here at the $158 range. I don't believe it's going to get lower than that. If Bitcoin does even correct a tiny bit further and it gets down to the 95, 9400 ranges, like right now Bitcoin's at 9700, right? Even if it gets down to these ranges, I do believe that Litecoin is actually going to end up holding. Just give me a second, I'm going back to the chart. There we go. So let's take a look at all the indicators, starting with the daily. Yesterday, we finished off with a fairly bearish candle. We got this indecision candle, in my opinion. and now we're trading in a much lower zone than it. If we look on, let's say, the 12-hour chart, we're seeing that on every single time frame right now, we're actually lower than the 55 EMA. Excuse me. It was very easy to tell that this was going to downtrend because we have to make note of what an uptrend looks like, okay? Let's go over the 55 EMA moving strategy of mine. So what you would do is you would buy it when it starts to fan out like this right here, okay? For example, in a higher time frame, let's say you bought it at $56. That's when the breakout started happening. You buy it when the 55 moving average is actually supporting all of it from the bottom side. Make sure you guys are referring to my videos. It's lesson 12 and lesson 16, I believe, on my steemit page. Let me just show you guys, okay? If you guys actually go to any of my steemit posts, you'll see it right here. This is lesson 12 and lesson 16. Don't ask me how I remember that. It's just, actually I brought it up in my last Bitcoin video. That's how I knew it. So no surprises there. It talks about lesson 12 here is 55 moving average. And then lesson 16 is the advanced 55 moving average strategy with MACD and also time frames. So you basically buy it when it fans out at $56 and you don't close it until you actually get to a confirmed downtrend, right? So if it didn't actually cross over there, you wouldn't have sold it. So as soon as the yellow line is moving above all of these other lines, that's where you officially confirm the downtrend. And the opposite also applies, right? If the yellow line is resisting all of it on the top side, that's where the downtrend will keep going until it actually ends up reversing like this right here. That's when you would want to close your position for your short. Now, if we look on every single time frame for the past few days, what we're seeing is ever since right here, people entered a short position. And the people that are in a short position for Litecoin, they don't have a reason really to close it quite yet, right? If they're going by the 55 EMA moving strategy. Let's go to, for example, a 45-minute chart right here. On the 45-minute chart, it would have signaled people to short the market when this was actually crossing over. And now we see the yellow line that's acting as a hard resistance for every single one. We go to a 30-minute chart as well. We see it acting as a hard resistance coming all the way down. So ever since March the 12th, yesterday morning at 9, there was no reason to enter a long position. We even over here, like, sure, we entered a short position even on a 15-minute chart, right? The 55 EMA was actually acting as a very hard resistance, and yet you would have closed it right around here at 175. You would have entered your short at 188 or so as well. On a 10-minute chart, pretty much the same thing, where we're trying really hard to break above it, and we have broken above it a few times, but we simply just could not hold it. And finally, last night, we broke below it from the 175 region, broke down to 174, and then we just tanked. So it was very indicative, in my opinion, that we were eventually going to downtrend. So we have to remember the long-term targets, okay, guys? I want to show you guys long-term targets and projections. If we go, for example, just from right here to right here to right here, and we simply just do a basic one-to-one extension, a one-to-one extension can get us over the $400 range, okay? So that's very important to make note of. And here, we're almost getting to pretty much that exact range of the golden pocket. So we're getting very, very close to the golden pocket, right? And because of these reasons, I firmly believe that we are going to end up bouncing around the 158 to the 153 region in the golden pocket. So we have to remember the rules of Elliott wave, where wave 3 is often the longest, and it's often the longest and it's never the shortest. And we can easily make projections based on waves 1 and 2 that have formed. We say that wave 3 is often the longest and it's never the shortest. We say that the wave 1 territory will act as a very hard support because it was previously a resistance, and we also say that the wave 5 could easily target about the 161.8 extension level. So keep sight, guys, of a long term, right? Right now it's pretty much a buy zone still. For the longer term holders, we are in a buy zone, guys. And if I were to draw my Elliott wave, right, we're hoping for something like this, assuming that Bitcoin doesn't massively correct. That could go something like that, that can go something like that, and this one could hit the 161.8. This one is most likely to breach well higher than the 100 extension, but I'm just giving you guys of an average, right? Like an estimate of how this could actually end up looking. So please don't lose sight of the long-term picture, right? This is still my long-term projections right here, right? For wave 3, I'm gonna say this was $414. We'll say 414. That's where I originally put it before, and I do project it to hit. You know, this is not the most accurate timeline, right? Ignore time analysis. Ignore time. You guys have to remember that I don't trade based on time whatsoever. All right. So if you were to enter a risk to reward setup around, you know, 155, 165, regardless, what we're seeing is a pretty ridiculous risk to reward ratio. You would end up setting your stop loss slightly below it, right? Wherever you guys are comfortable. Say 150. We'll set our stop loss to right here. Or even lower than that. I'd say even 145, right? 145 right here. Okay. Now you got a chance to lose like 8.66%. But if you're targeting like a high number of, you know, say $414 there, that's actually a really ridiculous risk to reward setup right there, right? So we're talking about way longer term than that. So please don't lose sight of the long-term goals and the targets of Litecoin. So this is pretty much what we're looking at, guys, right here, okay? We're looking at a long-term projection of at least $414, in my opinion, where we will end up getting a correction to near the wave 1 territory. And for the wave 5, we're looking at a very long time frame. Like, keep in mind that always ignore time frame, guys. Okay, I wanna make it very clear on here. I don't do time analysis. Okay. These are price estimates. These are price predictions. These are price predictions only. So that's very important to make note of right here. So on a much shorter picture, and we actually go to something a little bit closer into here, right? We see that, you know, on the daily chart right now, it doesn't look the best. We're getting like it's spinning top, but nevertheless it's still bearish. So please always just keep in mind between these regions right here, okay? Like a good buy zone would be somewhere between 158 to 163, or we buy into strength if it never even hits there, right? So what we see right now is this is a really strong support zone, which I'll label out for you guys and draw as well. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page and we know where these possible targets are, right? Very strong support zone. Strong support between 158 to 163, okay? So this is a very strong support. If it ends up getting in here, I highly recommend you guys to be interested in the market, right? It seems like we might end up just double bottoming. But of course, if that doesn't hold, right? If that doesn't hold, then we would look at a lower barrier right over here. Next support right here would be around 142. Is $142 right over here. So if that doesn't hold, unfortunately, we're gonna have to go to a lower region right here. But regardless, guys, like we're still in a buy zone, keep in mind, right? Absolutely, we're in a very good risk to reward setup, in my opinion. It's up to you guys where you define your stop losses, but to me, I still see it in a buy zone for a very long-term hold. So I just wanted to make note of that as well for you guys. So just to do a quick summary before we finish, right? This is an amazing risk to reward setup for long-term hold, assuming even a buy range of laddering between 158 to 170 even, right? This is a long-term hold RR setup. Entry price with dollar cost average is up to you. So I want to summarize that a strong buy zone is between 158 to 163. If we even get there, it's up to you guys to buy on strength if we don't get there, right? That's our first level of support. And the second level of support is roughly around $143. So yeah, that's kind of where we stand right now with Litecoin. It's definitely a heavy favorite coin of mine. I mean, we're looking at a possible 159% gain for even just the first wave there, right? So how can we complain about that? I guess we should also go over some of the technical indicators, right? We went over the moving average already. Like on the MACD, say on a three-day chart right here, it's still looking pretty bearish, ticking downwards. 12 hours probably in the same boat, very bearish as well. The MACD, RSI is not really breaking above anything quite yet. On the 4-hour chart here, this is a clear RSI cluster of resistances, right, that we simply just cannot break right now. So the moment that we break this RSI zone right here of 57, it's going to be go time, guys. It's just a matter of waiting. The MACD is still looking very bearish on a 4-hour chart. On a 2-hour chart right here as well, right, we have a series of tops. That's a massive resistance right there around the 60 zone. We have to remember that according to Brown Cadence's RSI rule, that a zone between about 60 and very low numbers is a bearish zone. So we are in not really that bearish of a zone right now. I'd say it's more like a neutral territory. This correction is fairly healthy. So other than that, you guys have my charts there. I wanted to give you a fairly quick update and to the point update on Litecoin. Check out my steemit posts for general bias and blogs on there, where I'd always appreciate an upvote on there, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the material as well. If you guys want to let me know I'm doing a fantastic job, you're welcome to buy me a lunch or, you know, a drink or something and donate to the cryptocurrency piggy bank. But other than that, guys, thank you very much always for your love and your support. Have yourself a great day. I hope that this TA has helped you in one way or another. Bye now.